You have Metallica listed as one of your favorite artists, and you call yourself a music snob. Oh. Yeah. It's called branding, asshole. If it really offends you that much, why don't you start your own public image of trying to discredit me, or just shut the fuck up. These are my top 21 Metallica songs. Why 21, you ask? Well, because it was extraordinarily hard picking 10. Not only that, once you see a number of the top 10, you'll probably understand why I wanted to kind of expand that a little bit. And plus, the band, I really do like this band a lot. I feel like part of me has grown and matured past Metallica in some ways, but no matter what I do, I always come back to it as a core of my music writing and appreciation. Now, because my tastes have matured, that also means that there are songs on here that a lot of Metallica fans are gonna be like, you poser. The fact that you are pissed off at this list means that it is honestly my opinion. Think about that. Now, these are not what I would call necessarily their best songs. I mean, I'm sure in my opinion, a lot of these would be, but they are my favorite songs. For whatever the hell reason I decide. Now, sadly, I will not be able to play any clips of Metallica songs in this video, and that is because copyright is just fucking wonderful on YouTube. There's definitely no way that me playing little snippets of the song so people know what the hell I'm talking about could ever potentially be considered fair use. For those of you morons watching, and I mean you over at the music labels and publishers, that's sarcasm. But let's just get the fuck into it, shall we? Hit the Lights has one of my favorite Metallica riffs. The opener riff right after that obnoxious intro that I always skip by. This is going to be my poor mouth rendition, but and he does that little bend note on the first time he plays through it. Oh, it's so freaking great, dude. And then the opening line, no life till leather, let's kick some ass tonight. Like, fuck yeah, all right, I'm in. This song is all about kicking ass and riding fucking motorcycles. I'm on. This song has a fantastic energy, a pretty great attitude, and I mean, Kill 'Em All is probably close to almost my least favorite album. That's mainly to do with production. That also has a little bit to do with the writing, although they did have some really good songs on this one. But man, the production really could have used a little bit of work. Hit the Lights also has some of the wildest Kirk Hammett solos, and honestly, I think I'm a little bit underrated. You can tell that they're pretty improvised, at least they feel improvised, and man, like, they actually got some great phrasing to them. Motor Breath. This song also has a really cool riff, and it has a couple of really cool riffs in it. But really, what always sold me on this song was the melody. La da 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 ba 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 ba. You know, like friggin' that was a hook to me. That had me hooked in. Again, it's about that riding motorcycles, going high speed. I mean, it doesn't have to be motorcycles, it could be cars, whatever. Just going high speed, all about leather. That's why it's called Motor Breath. All right, here come the groans. Prince Charming. This is another one of those songs where I'm gonna use the word attitude a lot, but man, this song had a bitchin' attitude. And that main riff, the bump and then all the lyrics are pretty much like, yes, I'm everything you hate, and fuck you, I'm gonna kick your ass. You're afraid of me because of how much you're disgusted by me. It's kind of great. I mean, I'm not necessarily saying it's a positive message, but it does, if I had to glean a little bit of the positivity out of it, it is like, even though you might feel like you are looked at as awful by a bunch of other people, you're going to own who you are, and you're going to be the best version of yourself. Hopefully. That and the outro to this song, man, that outro is really good. The look up to me. Well, they got the riffs going on, and then they also have the solo underneath, and then the bass kind of tethering where we're at as far as the actual chord, the root of the chord. Man, really good stuff. Creeping Death, one of the simplest riffs, but still badass as hell. It's literally just sitting here on the power chord opening. I'm doing a little bit of a trill of the 5 of that chord up to the minor 6, and then pull off from 6 to 5 to 4. And that thing's just a killer fucking riff. It's so stupid, but it's great. That and it has a really great chorus. So let it be written. so let it be done. I'm sent here by the chosen one. Fuck yeah, dude. I'm creeping down. And then hands down, the best part of this song is the bridge. Bum, down, down, which, I mean, like, that riff in and of itself, in hindsight, not the greatest riff, but when you have all the whole crowd chanting, die, die, and then the fucking lyrics, die by my hand, I creep across the land, killing firstborn man. Like, oh, dude, it's so powerful. It's wonderful. Battery. Holy shit, is that riff brutal. And, like, very, very metal ahead of its time, for sure. You have the really, really quick gallop, and then the harmonized. Oh man, that riff, the first time I heard it, I was like blown away. Not to mention the opening of that song with the acoustic guitars. And then they have, I think, like a 3 or 4 part harmony going on there. 3-part harmony, and then the other acoustic guitar underneath kind of holding down the bass end of things is really, really cool. If I recall, there's also a pretty badass solo in there as well. I Disappear, the single that was made specifically for the Mission Impossible 2 song, or movie. Yeah, Mission Impossible 2 song, that's a thing. This song, yes, is hard rock, and yes, I would say is kind of pop formulaic to some extent, but holy shit, it's a great rock song. I'll say the main riff, the boom, ba-dum, 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 that's kind of lame as shit, but when you pair that with boom, boom, wow, boom, boom, wow, that wow being the Kirk Hammett version, the little accent. That little accent is so fucking catchy. That's like perfect ear candy. Not to mention all of the melodies, verse, chorus, pre-chorus, all are killer. All are earworms. They're really good. If I had a bitch, the solo could have been a little less stupid. It was like needlessly dumbed down blues. Like, I wish they would have let Kirk do more. I think a lot of that had to do with trying to produce him back away from shredding and producing him more towards a blues based feel type of solo, which I think where you got Load, Reload, and this track. Suicide and Redemption is my favorite studio rendition of any of Metallica's instrumentals. It has a complexity that most of the other ones don't quite reach. They get pretty close, but they don't quite reach it. I will say the opening main riff, the is kind of annoying. It's very annoying, actually. But once you get past that and you get to other riffs like that's a little bit juvenile, but it's kind of fun. It's got a good groove to it. And then you get to somewhere in the middle section where we have the ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, ba-da-dum, da-dum, da-dum, dum, da-da-na-na-na. That's a pretty cool riff, and they jam on that for a little bit until they kind of pull away to another section and then pull back to it, where they kind of have a crescendo in with harmonized guitars doing some very simple leads, and then there's a great counterpoint between that riff and those simple leads that is just absolutely badass as hell. There's another number of other parts in that song that I actually really enjoy, but there's a lot to it, so let's move on. As far as ballads go by Metallica, this is one of my favorites of theirs. The intro with just the bass and the drums, kind of lame as shit to me, to be honest, but everything after that's kind of great. If they just chopped off, I guess you don't want that beginning because you want that idea as our lead out to kind of be a callback to the beginning, which, okay, I get that. But where do I take this pain of mine? Do 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 do. Like, oh man, it's so pretty, so sweet, and so sad, so melancholy all at once. And then to be brought up from this like place of a lot of vulnerability into this place of extreme emotion and angst in the chorus. Man, that felt so satisfying. Especially with how the harmonies are set up on the riffs in the chorus, and then the frickin' melody throughout this song on fucking point. Not to mention, at the end of the bridge, I don't want it, want it, want it, want it, want it, and that whole thing. I know, the true metalheads in the audience are gonna be like, fuck you, Mike, you're just a fucking poser. Oh yeah, the Metallica fan over here being a poser because he likes things from all over the catalog. Yeah, I'm a poser. It's a damn well written song, objectively speaking, outside of the fact that it's not heavy enough for you. Don't Tread on Me. Oh, this song fucking kicks. Just the intro. Bum ba ba, boom boom. This fucking huge drums. Bum ba ba, boom boom. Oh, it feels so good. And then you have the melody from West Side Story. Dun 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 dun. This something something America. The song that the Sharks sing in the dance hall with their ladies. Then opening up to the main riff in the verse. Oh, it's a swing feel. It's a fucking swing feel, which swing and metal don't typically go together the greatest, especially when you're trying to go for brutality, but this feels like it's gonna fucking destroy you. And then the chant, don't tread on me. Yes, absolutely. I mean, not to mention this song is about what was supposed to be the American attitude, which, don't get me started on our government. They're a little bit. But as far as your average American, I would say most of them hold this attitude still to this day of just don't fuck with me and I won't fuck with you. This is the embodiment of kick-ass America. It really, this song really is. I mean, you got America Fuck Yeah, which is a pastiche of that type of American attitude, but when you really get down to it, Don't Tread on Me is a much more pure embodiment of what that idea is supposed to be, not necessarily how it is practiced out by our government. And the chorus, so be it, threaten no more to secure pieces. I'm sorry if I'm out of tune. I'm not pushing full blast right now. Either way, fucking amazing chorus. Also has a badass solo in it as well. Of Wolf and Man. I have never pictured a better representation of what it would be to be a werewolf than this song. This song is so carnal, it's so brutal. That tone on the Black Album mixed with that riff was fucking meant to be. Ah, feels so good. The chorus to Of Wolf and Man was kick-ass as hell. Shape shift, nose to the wind. Like that felt awesome. And then the verses, I mean, bright as the moon, high in starlight, chill in the air, cold as steel tonight. Like that just does not feel like it should work, and it feels so good. We shift, cower the wild. Like, oh, dude, fuck yes. You feel like you're about to unleash unbridled, illogical violence upon everyone when you hear this song. Where the Wild Things Are. Again, I hear the groans. Where the Wild Things Are, I think, is possibly, it's probably not the most underrated, but it's one of Metallica's most underrated songs. I remember even this past Saturday on the live stream, I played it on there, and people were like, is this Metallica? Is this Metallica? Oh my god, I didn't know this was Metallica. Holy crap, there is a song on Reload that I don't hate, or actually kind of like. It's like, no shit, Sherlock. The song is kind of demented. It's a little fucked. It's a little melancholy. It's a little badass too, and it has a tiny bit of a prog rock vibe, which I love. This song was really written super well. I will say that maybe the riff leading into the verse is a little bit reductive for my tastes, but the singing style and the melody in the verses is so like trancy, almost soothing, and like it's kind of seducing you in a little bit, but it's also kind of freaking you out. The pre-chorus also has almost this sense of longing, almost like there's a glimmer of hope. Then when we get to the chorus, it's trying to lull you into this false sense of security that you're already kind of stuck in. You know what I mean? It's so fucking interesting to me musically. Future Mike here. In my slight disorganization and slight inebriation of whiskey while making the video, I realized that I forgot 2 songs. So if this seemed a little bit different, that would be why. Fuel. Man, what a badass song. That song to me is just raw energy, and I think perfectly encapsulates its subject matter musically as well. Every aspect of that song is a hook, and I mean, just the riffs in and of themselves, while being very simple, gives you the feeling of revving a frickin' engine, dude. That, and I mean, especially the drums in the chorus, like friggin' going to the toms. Would have never thought of that, but it was so perfect. And also the classic, give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire, ooh, has made so many wonderful memes for all of us metalheads. Also, a really damn good solo by Kirk there. I mean, it could have been like slightly different to make me slightly more pleased, but I mean, that's just a personal opinion. It's a great fitting solo. Again, just raw attitude, raw emotion, one distinct idea distilled into a very precise slap in the face, and very enjoyable. Wherever I may roam. Holy cow. This was a tough decision for me as to whether or not to pick this one or the S&M version, because the S&M version is so good. Like, man, it was tough. The original studio recording on the Black Album edged out the S&M rendition, and that was only because even if I had swapped it out, it wouldn't be any higher on the list. It would be at the same spot, and I mean, man, I really do love that S&M version, and I don't know which one I love more. So better to go back to the source material if we can than appealing to a new rendition, but you guys will probably yell at me later on in this list. Absolutely great riff. Oh, man. And then the drums, as simple as they are, just driving this very consistent groove. It's not too fast. It's not like slow and sludgy. It's just right in the pocket. Great lyrics, great melody throughout. Excellent chorus, man. And the solos, all of the solos. It's one of the reasons why it's so high up on my list. And not only that, but they're doing it in a Phrygian dominant scale, is what Kirk said. I don't know if that's the case or not. I'll have to look back at it. But yeah, I mean, it's freaking such a rippin' key, such a rippin' solo, and especially the outro solos. Fuck yeah. All right, whiskey refill time. I don't want it, want it, want it, want it, want it, no, whoa, whoa. Dyers fucking Eve. In my opinion, this is probably their most brutal riffs, like across the board. Holy shit. You want to talk about thrash, you want to talk about hardcore punk fused with what was early heavy metal, and bringing those two together with a little bit of that Eddie Van Halen, my tubes are about to explode sound. That's it. Holy shit, this song rips. Man, when I first heard this, I was blown away yet again. Just like, wow, how do they keep surprising me with this shit? You get that opening main riff, the sorry, I can't do. I'm probably still gonna get claimed just by doing it with my fucking mouth, okay? Like, oh, dude, kicks all the ass. And then we go to big chords in the verse, bum, bum, and then the drums are still double kicking like a motherfucker. Ah, man, the energy is extreme. And you know what the song's about? It's about teen angst. Every line of the verses starts out with, dear mother, dear father. Bitch, 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 bitch. My least favorite part of this song is actually the choruses. The choruses are such a letdown. I feel like I'm always looking forward to the verses. Even with a weak-ass chorus, still an amazing song. Such raw energy that, like, there's a lot of raw energy songs and bands out there that I feel like are kind of sloppy or unfocused, and it kind of diminishes it, in my opinion. Because if you can't harness it, if it's just raw energy, it's just brah, looking at you black metal. It's almost like, well, yeah, anyone can fucking do that. Anyone can sit here. I can strum all 6 strings open faster than most of you can, and I can buy as many distorted pedals as I need to just to I'm louder and noisier than you are. But when you can take that energy and focus it into a tight area, it makes it so much more effective. Welcome home. Damn. When I was younger, when I was a teenager, I would listen to this song a shit ton. And like, as I've grown older, I'm like, I don't really like it that much. And then I go back and I listen to it. I'm like, but I really do. By my prog standards, this is not an amazing song. It's really not. But by just being a really well-written song that sucks you in, both with some catchy enough riffs. I mean, some of them are better than others. I'm really not a fan of the chorus riff. I'm really not. It's fine. The verses, I think, are exquisite, with the exception of how he ends the first phrase of each verse. The pre-choruses are excellent. Really, really, really good. But man, it's that ending, though. It's when we start going to the bridge section, which is really the outro, and we go into that riff. Ah, dude. Great groove. And then we're going at this double time speed, and then we half time it for a minute so we get more into a groove. Fear of living on, something getting restless now, mutiny in the air, that whole thing. Fucking great part. And then we go into a solo, which is a badass as hell solo. And then this kind of just takes us out. Like, man, really, really, really well done. That song is infectious. It truly is. It's unsuspectingly good to those who don't think that they would like it. Unforgiven, or I should say The Unforgiven. I don't fucking know. Fucking track 4 or 5 off of Black Album. That's right, it's track 4. It's track 4. I still get chills listening to this song to this day. And yes, even with me at my prog snobbiness, and knowing that there are things about this that could be done more sophisticated, I still get chills listening to this song. This is one of the few songs where I actually am kind of forced to, at an early age, listen to the lyrics by my brother. The lyrics in combination with the angst that you feel in the verses, because they as they said, we're like, you know what, let's do something different for our ballads. Let's switch the dynamic. Instead of having these really, really soft verses and then super heavy choruses, let's have a really heavy verse and then a super soft chorus. And that was honestly accidental genius on their part for their style in this song. Having that extreme angst of all of these awful things that are happening to this person, and then being released into this very, what's the word? Whatever the one word is for never being able to find solace, just having this pure pain with no hatred or anger, if that makes any sense. It's just pure pain and melancholy embodied here, and it's absolutely beautiful. And then this solo, one of Kirk's best. As the story goes, basically, he brought in this solo that he thought was amazing. They all thought it sucked. So Bob Rock, their producer at the time, pissed him off to the point where he was like, fuck you all, and just shredded something, and that was the take that they took. Absolutely fantastic song. Extremely underrated and ignored by its fan base. Alright, so if you've noticed, I've been splitting these up into tiers, and that was only because I had a very hard time, first of all, picking the songs, but then second of all, whittling down from the songs that I picked into even a list of 21. Trying to order your opinions on things of a list of 21 songs is a hell of a lot harder than you realize if you're actually trying to take it seriously. And by take it seriously, I mean put it out on the internet for people to forever quote you as, and if you say something different in the future, then you're a liar! It's one of the reasons I avoid doing these top 10 videos, because that means I actually have to stick by the damn lists that I make. It's not easy to do, especially when opinions change over time. So to make it easier, I did break things into 5 tiers, and tier 1 is full of some songs that I guarantee you will recognize, but this is one of the reasons why I haven't made my top albums list yet. The Metallica S&M album is my favorite album of theirs, hands down. Yes, there are only 2 original songs on that, but I don't really give a shit. It's the one that I enjoy the most, without a doubt. So 3 of the next 5 songs are S&M performances. Go fuck yourself, I don't care. For Whom the Bell Tolls, the S&M version. Man! So this was the first version I ever heard of this song, and I didn't really care for it as much when I was younger, although I did really enjoy it. But I mean, I was listening to a lot of the S&M album at that time. And I mean, now in hindsight, I think this is one of the best on the frickin' album. When I listen to the original For Whom the Bell Tolls, it grates on me so hard. For one, the production is absolute dog shit. For two, you can barely hear the fucking bass. And then after about 3 years of that riff, we finally get to dun 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 dun, which, don't get me wrong, is a lot of fun to play. But when all your drums are doing is boom pa boom pa boom pa for fucking 20 millennia, gets a little old after a while. Now, not to say that there is not merit to the original work. There is lots of merit to the original work. One of which being the frickin' chorus, the verses, man, especially with the lyrics and the melody, they were great. It was a simple, basic ass, I would say closer to rock than metal in some cases. Like the best parts to me were the rock parts. And yes, obviously the like great melodic phrase, but you really don't get to see what this song could have been until Michael Kamen, the guy who is the orchestrator, composer, arranger for the S&M album, came in and added a whole new depth to the song. Like, I can't hear it any differently now. Holy crap. This version, the S&M version, 1,000 times better. There's no way you're gonna change my mind. You can try, you ain't gonna. The depth of counterpoint, the fact that the band basically acts as all, essentially, if I was going to equate an orchestra to a rock band, all of Metallica, with the exception of James's voice, is the bass guitar, and everything else on top is the guitars and the synthesizers and everything else. And it makes so much more sense from a composition standpoint. It elevates it from some basic ass, I'm just gonna smash my head against the wall until I'm dead, up to something that's actually a very beautiful, sophisticated work of art. And still metal as fuck. Not to mention his attitude when he's singing those lyrics, I think, is far better than on the original too. 1. I mean, what else do I have to say? Verses haunting as hell. The chorus is brutal as shit and unsuspecting. Like the songwriting for this was just so like, what the fuck are you doing? But at the same point, I love it. And you know, the verses and choruses were cool in and of themselves, especially when it releases from the chorus into that dual acoustic guitar part. Wow, that was always such a great moment. It's almost like you have this raging volcano. When it erupts into flowers that bloom throughout the sky. Like, it's fucking nuts. But let's be real. The real star of the show is that outro. Oh yeah. I mean, first of all, darkness imprisoning me, all that I see. And then going out to basically our double time version. And then one of the greatest solos in fucking metal history. Man, there's a reason why one is considered one of the greatest metal songs of all time. I mean, fucking go listen to it if you are under a rock. Call of Cthulhu, S&M version. While the original composition was not horrible, extraordinarily repetitive for someone like myself, I will say that. When I was younger, I appreciated it more, but let's be real, the S&M version adds a whole world of depth, both harmonically, rhythmically, dynamically, just all over the place. It basically injects it with music steroids to make it something way better than it was intended to be. You want to talk about a consistent rise in tension, and right when you think you're at the peak, you're like, fuck, how are we still going up? You know, like, fuck. And then those moments where it does kind of climax slightly, you just drop a little bit, but then we keep going up higher and higher. Man, it's so good. It's so good. And especially for people who aren't fans of Metallica, absolutely check that out. That will most likely change your mind about this band. It actually was one of the songs that changed one of my good friends' minds about metal as a whole. And then immediately we segue from Call of Cthulhu into Master of Puppets on the S&M concert in like the greatest fucking way possible. Especially when we're up here at these high registers. Like, oh shit! Everyone at that concert must have been losing their fucking minds. I would have been like, holy shit, dude. And yes, I pick the S&M version specifically because I think it elevates it higher. Not that the original composition was bad, but the original composition in context of the rest of this list would not be at number 2 for me. Yes, I saw one person on Twitter say arguably the greatest metal riff of all time. That is correct. However, one riff does not an amazing song make. And yes, while the original composition does have some very beautiful, well-written, heartfelt sections to it, I feel like the orchestra, again, elevates it to a new level that Metallica could not have done by themselves. Sorry, I lied. It wasn't 3, it was 4. My favorite song by Metallica is No Leaf Clover. No Leaf Clover, for me, as to what I particularly enjoy, as much as Master of Puppets, the S&M version, especially at the higher tempo from the original, gives me that adrenaline rush. No Leaf Clover gives me an all-around metal feeling, classical feeling, the melancholy and the angst that I love, paired with a little bit of brutality, and all around every single melody was spot the fuck on. And the thing at the end, when it comes to be, yeah, when it comes to be, yeah, something like that. When he does a little fucking Jason Newsted was bitching about that, being like, I kind of hate this. And then after he heard it 1,000 times, he was like, oh fuck, no, this is like, it gets stuck in your head. It's kind of perfect. And I don't think James has done anything in falsetto ever except for that song. And it was like the perfect place he could have done it. It's equally as angsty, angry, hurt you, but then also kind of demented. It's slightly seductive as well. The orchestration on that song is fantastic, and it's not even that complicated. It's just exactly where it needs to be. All right, thank you for those of you who have not unsubscribed yet. Thank you so much for joining me. Please let me know how wrong I am in the comments below. If you like this video, please support me on Subscribestar. That is the only way I can keep YouTube my job. Also, I have new merch in my new merch store. That link is in the description below. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Become the Night. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you in the next video. Rock on!